Hey, my friends, what's up? Welcome to the next edition of the Gay Men's Fitness and Skinny Fat Solutions Facebook Live. As I say every week, these are just kind of us getting our feet wet to start a podcast when I move to New York in June. So I actually have a date that we'll be moving to New York City. We're leaving the sunny Miami Beach and heading back to New York City because my husband has the possibility of advancing in his career, and he can't do that remote anymore. So got to give up the remote position and move back to an anchor city, and it was either New York City or London, so we're going to New York. And when we get to New York, I'm going to have a bigger space to work with, so I'm going to set up all my podcasting equipment, and we're going to turn this into a full-blown podcast. So that is going to be probably the end of June, because we're moving mid-June and want to give myself and us a little time to settle in and get things together and get all the equipment set up. But then we're really going to take this thing to the next level. Moving on today, it's just going to be me, and I'm going to make this a bit shorter than I normally do. I want to talk about biofeedback, which essentially is the things you want to track, the signals that your body is giving you, that will tell you if you need to make adjustments so that you can get the best results in your weight loss, your strength, or your hypertrophy program. So what I'm going to do is for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, I'm going to make these short 10-minute Facebook Lives that are going to be a little bit more easily digestible so that you can reference them if you need to and start applying these things in your fitness journey and trying to figure out what the changes you can make to in your daily routine that will help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. And I'm a fat loss coach, but I also do train some of my clients in strength training or trying to put on size. But for the most part, I talk about fat loss. So if you're trying to achieve your fat loss goals and you're stuck, you're hitting a plateau, you're not progressing as fast as you want to or as fast as you should. And remember, that should be about 1 to 2 pounds of body fat loss a week. No more than that, because if you're losing fat too quickly, it's not sustainable and it's usually not going to be permanent. And what we want to facilitate here is a permanent change, right? So if you're stuck, right, if you're in a plateau and you're not seeing the results that you're looking for, it may just not be the fact that you're in a deficit, that is going to get you results. You want to pay attention to all of your biofeedback. Now, there is a term called SHREDS, and SHREDS is an acronym that was coined by a man named Sam Miller, who is an expert in the field of nutrition and training. So I absorb his podcasts often. So look for Sam Miller if you want to learn even more about this stuff. And he talks about tons and tons of things that have to do with hormones and fitness and nutrition. I'm not exactly sure what his qualifications are, but I do believe that he has at least a medical background or medical degree. But the things that he talks about and the acronym that he's comes up with when it deals with, biofeedback is amazing, right? So we've implemented the SHREDS acronym into our coaching process here at Safe and Fitness because it's a great way to make sure that you're covering all of the pieces of your biofeedback. So instead of going through every piece of the biofeedback today, I want to break these up again into smaller, digestible Facebook Lives. So let's start out with what SHREDS means. What are the pieces of the biofeedback that you need to pay attention to make sure that you're making progress? So S stands for sleep, H stands for hunger, R stands for recovery, and then you have energy, digestion, and stress. So these are all things that you need to pay attention to make sure that you're getting the results that you're looking for, that you're progressing as fast as you need to see the results and to figure out why you may be stuck in a plateau. Today, I want to focus slowly on the sleep aspect of the SHREDS acronym. Okay, and we're going to go through one of these each week, like I said, for the next 6 weeks. So when we're talking about sleep, we're not just talking about the quantity of the sleep that we're getting, but we're also talking about the quality of sleep as well. So one of the things that we want to pay attention to when it comes to sleep is, are you paying attention to your circadian rhythm? So basically, this just means the way that your body reacts to dark and light. In the morning when you get up, your body is reacting to the light by producing a hormone named cortisol. And cortisol is not bad. Cortisol is actually what wakes you up and gives you energy and gives you that boost that you need to start your day, right? So on the flip side of that coin, at night, your body is producing a hormone called melatonin. And you may have recognized that word from the supplement melatonin at maybe CVS or Walgreens, which is supposed to aid you in the sleep process. But your body actually produces a hormone called melatonin, and that's what winds you down at the end of the day, to oversimplify it, and get you ready for sleep. And this all has to do with your circadian rhythm. So, in addition to paying attention to your circadian rhythm and making sure that you're producing cortisol at the right time and melatonin at the right time, you also want to make sure that there's some consistency in your sleep schedule, that you're getting deep sleep, because deep sleep equals to better recovery. When you get deep sleep, you go into your deep sleep cycles, which is REM sleep. And in REM sleep, you repair your body, right? So when we go to the gym, we create micro tearing, we create exhaustion in our system. And in order to repair our bodies, we need to get into deep sleep cycles. And this will help facilitate muscle building and fat loss. So if you're not getting into those deep sleep cycles, meaning that maybe you're getting 7 hours of sleep, but you get up 3 or 4 times in the night, or you're tossing and turning a lot, or you're waking up constantly, then you may not be getting into those deep sleep cycles that you need to get into to get proper repair and recovery from all of your workouts or whatever you're doing throughout the day. So that being said, we're paying attention to all of these things. We're paying attention to the quantity, the quality, seeing if, we're in that circadian rhythm, making sure that we're consistent. Are we getting deep sleep cycles? If we're not scoring well on all of these things, right? If we're struggling to get the right amount of sleep or the right quality of sleep, what do we do to help improve that process? So I'm going to go through a few things here. I've got 6 points that you want to pay attention to, or that you want to try to implement into your life to help get better sleep. So the first thing that you can do is increase your vitamin D early in the day. So when you're increasing your vitamin D, this is going to actually help boost cortisol, if I understand it properly, right? So that means that you want to get outside early in the day. You want to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes and get light exposure on the skin, because that's the best way to produce vitamin D in your body. Okay. Now, I know that it can be situational depending on where you live. I'm lucky enough to live in Miami. I get to go out every morning and walk my dog in the sunlight. So that is my big dose of vitamin D in the morning. And this helps you get into what is called a sympathetic state in the morning, early in the day. That sympathetic state is that production of cortisol that is giving you the energy you need to, get going, get out of bed, get out of that sleep cycle. If you are not able to get outside early in the morning, at the very least, try to take a walk during lunch. Try to get some exposure to sunlight on your skin. But they also make vitamin D supplements as well. Supplements are never as good as the real thing. But again, it all depends on where you live and it's a seasonal thing, right? So if it's the dead of winter in New York City and it's cloudy all the time, or there's like a complete week of snow, and I'm only saying that because I'm moving back and getting ready for that to be the situation that I'm going to be in, we have to find other ways to get vitamin D into our system. But again, if you're going to take a supplement for vitamin D, do it early in the day, because we want to make sure that, that cortisol release is happening early in the day, so that it gives us the energy we need to get through the day and not keeping us up at night. So what do we do at night when we want to make sure that we get better sleep? Okay. One thing that we can do is reduce the white or blue light at least 1 hour before you get into bed. So that would be the light from your phone, the light from your TVs. If you've got really bright lights in your house, fluorescent lighting is not good for this. So if you've got fluorescent lighting all over your house, it's something that can actually affect your ability to fall asleep. Okay. So how can we improve our ability to fall asleep by reducing white light and blue light? Well, a lot of our phones have what's called night shift. So that'll actually reduce the blue light coming out of your phone. So I actually just turned mine on recently so that I can get better sleep because I noticed that my sleep was struggling. There are screen protectors that you can put on your phone if you don't have that option, but I do believe that most cell phones have the option to go into night shift mode, which is exactly what it's for, reducing that blue light. They make, in addition to screen protectors, you can just turn your phone off, right? So like an hour before bed, instead of watching TV, which also is going to give you a lot of that unhealthy light that's going to keep you awake, try reading a book before bed or doing something where you're not staring at a screen, because the light that's coming off the screen, especially if it's not in night shift mode, is going to affect your sleep. Okay, it's not going to be as easy for you to fall asleep, and you're not going to get as good a quality of sleep as you need to get into. And again, we want to get into that quality sleep for those deep sleep cycles to really get into that REM sleep. Routines are huge. So you want to get into a morning routine and a night routine. Okay. So you want to get into a routine that's going to facilitate the cortisol response, right? We talked about this already. Try to make part of your morning routine getting outside, even if it's only to walk the dog, for 10 or 15 minutes. Just get that exposure to sunlight on your skin so that you can get that vitamin D and you can get that cortisol production, right? And then in the evenings, you want the melatonin response. So we want to get into a routine where we're eliminating the white and the blue light an hour before bed. Maybe we do meditations. Maybe we do breathing exercises, things that are going to just kind of bring our state of mind down and signal to our body that we need to be releasing melatonin and not cortisol. And if you're watching, TV right before you go to bed, or you're looking at your phone without the night shift turned on, or you may be getting a cortisol release that is going to signal to your body that you need to be awake. Okay, kind of like that fight or flight response. So maintaining a similar bedtime, also an important step. Try to go to bed at the same time every night, and going to bed at 10 o'clock and getting up at 6 o'clock is much different than going to bed at midnight and getting up at 8. All right, you want to stay closer to that 10 to 6 time frame, especially if you're getting 8 hours of sleep, because it's going to more closely match the light versus dark, which again, what signals to your body which hormone it's going to be releasing, right? When your body detects light in the morning, the cortisol comes out. When it gets darker, it signals to your body, or it should, that you need a melatonin release to get you ready for bed. Another thing, and this was one for me to overcome, is to cut caffeine intake after breakfast, or at least taper it out throughout the day. This is the big thing too. A lot of people do pre-workout before they work out, and it's loaded with caffeine, or they'll drink a shot of espresso to go work out. If you're working out in an evening training session, you want to avoid taking the caffeine, because the caffeine is something that can keep you awake, and it can absolutely affect the quality of your sleep or your ability to fall asleep in the first place. So just keep that in mind. If you are working out at night, try not to do pre-workout, try not to drink caffeine. If you're working out midday or in the morning, less of an effect on your sleep or your ability to get quality sleep at night. The last thing I want to talk about is exercise, right? So, if you can move intense exercise away from bedtime, it's only going to help you get into your deep sleep cycles more. It's only going to help you fall asleep better. It's only going to help you get more quality rest. Some of us need to work out at night, and that's totally understandable. We go to work early, or we have maybe a different work schedule where we need to work out in the evening, but try to make that as far away from the time you go to sleep as possible. So if you get off work at 6 o'clock, go straight to the gym, right? Instead of going and doing other chores or going home first and then going to the gym at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. The closer you work out and get your body into that excited state, the harder it's going to be for you to fall asleep. And again, all of this comes back to quality of sleep and quantity of sleep. If it's hard for you to fall asleep and you only have 8 hours of time to sleep, you're not going to get that full 8 hours. If you're all jacked up, right, from going to the gym, and you try to fall asleep, you may be able to get to sleep, but your body is in that excited state. You might wake up a lot. You might not have the quality of sleep that you're looking for. So, so this is the first element of shreds. And as I said before, I'm going to go into a different element of shreds every week. Next week is going to be hunger. So again, I'm going to try to keep these to 10 or 15 minutes. I went to 15 minutes today because I just love to talk. But if you have any questions about this, please drop it into the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, comment below any questions. If there's anything you want us to talk about in any of these Facebook Lives, please just let us know. We want to know what you need help with. That's why we're here. That's why I am a coach. So don't be silent. Speak up. Leave comments. And then if you are appreciating these, if they're helping you, please like the Facebook Live and share it with your friends. Invite them to the group. We're happy to bring anybody in. You don't need to be a gay man to be in this group. All right. We love allies as well. As long as they're supportive of our community, we want them here. So thank you guys very much for paying attention. I promised only 10 minutes. I'm at 15, so I'm going to cut it off now. But we'll be back next week with the next letter in the acronym SHREDS, which is hunger. And we're going to talk about how to make sure that the hunger cues your body are giving you are, giving you the cues that you need to make progress. All right. And we're going to see if any changes need to be made in your diet or anything else, your training, and even your sleep, which will affect your hunger as well. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And I hope you got a lot out of this podcast. I'm going to start calling it a podcast. I will see you.